Hey guys, I'm YJ, boarding office worker channel. This time I listened to a lecture on August 25 by Dr. Takashi Tsuji of RIKEN, a leader in follicle regenerative medicine in Japan. Apparently, they discovered a new component of hair restorer that is superior to minoxidil. Let me explain the lecture briefly. First of all, do you know what component of hair restorer really works? The Japanese Dermatological Association's alopecia guideline defines the components of scientifically based hair restorer as follows. Grade A, minoxidil, strongly recommended. Grade B, adenosine, recommended. Grade C, T-flavin, maybe recommended. Not judge other components, no effect. In other words, the components that did not result in an A, B, or C grade are not recognized by science as hair growth components. Unfortunately, it does not work at all. The Japanese Dermatological Association recognizes minoxidil as the most effective hair growth components. Researchers around the world are working hard to find hair regrowth components that is more effective than minoxidil. The post-minoxidil. What components are actually responsible for hair growth? In fact, Dr. Tsuji's team was also doing research. Our hair has a hair cycle. The hair repeatedly falls out and grows in 3 cycles. The growth phase, the transitional phase, and the resting phase. A characteristic of people who get AGA is that the growth phase is significantly shorter. How do we extend this growth phase? In other words, how do you get your hair to grow? It's important. The research team conducted a series of experiments in mice to find the component that causes hair growth. Step 1. Using hair follicle regenerative medicine technology to create experimental mice with a hair growth phase of around 10 days. Step 2. Experimentally apply various components to the mice and see if their hair grows back. This graph shows the length of the hair on the vertical axis and the number of days of observation on the horizontal axis. For example, if you apply a hair tonic or something else that has no effect on hair growth to mice, the hair will not grow like this. However, when mice were given minoxidil, which has the highest rating of A in Japanese Dermatological Association, their hair grew by about 20% and grew longer. Dr. Tsuji's research team tried all the components of commercially available hair restorer, but minoxidil seemed to be the most effective. Over the past 3 years, Dr. Tsuji and his team have discovered 3 previously undiscovered hair growing components that have never been discovered by the world. They have not yet been named, so in this video we will describe them as A, B, and C. The first component is this. The data shows that applying component A to mice increased the length of their hair by 40%. The second component is this. The data shows that applying component B to mice increases the length of their hair by 80%. And component B doesn't just make your hair longer, it also activates about twice as much cell division in skin cells and improves the skin for hair growth. The third component is this. The data shows that applying component C to mice increases the length of their hair by 22%. We'll continue to pay attention to component C, which is expected to have a hair regrowth component that surpasses minoxidil. The research team looked at 51 new candidate components that might be effective for hair growth. They found components A, B, and C that could be post-minoxidil. Component B and C in particular have more amazing potential than minoxidil. They plan to use these new components to develop a hair growth product. It says that it will be 5 years before the new hair restorer containing the new hair growth components A, B, and C are commercialized. I'm sure many people can't wait to see it. Let's support Dr. Tsuji's team in their quest to create a new hair restorer as soon as possible. The more people and funds that support them, the faster and cheaper the research will be. The more people who want to overcome baldness, the more options they will have, and I encourage them to do their best. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please subscribe to my channel and please good button. See you later. Bye.